What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so I'm going to be doing another Galactus video here today, and we're going to be trying out Iceman. So I've had Iceman for a while. I only just recently put a CTP on him. Well, not recently, actually. The CTP has been on him for a long time, but I'm just recently getting around to actually testing him out a little bit. So I've had him built with a CTP for probably months now, and I've never taken him into any game modes. So I kind of built him up, and I never tried him out once. So now I'm finally getting around to trying him out because I was just curious to see how Iceman would do. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at his build here, and then we'll hop into the fight against Galactus. That's what's going to be in today's video. Probably going to be putting out a few other videos about Iceman if they're not already out at the time of this video's release. So right now his gears are pretty much just bare bone, although they are leveled up a little bit, but no Uru on him. For his skills, we have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th one leveled up. For the Isolate set, we have Power of Angry Hulk. And then for the CTP, I have a CTP of Judgment on him. It's my only CTP of Judgment that I have. I decided to put on him just because his skill cooldowns are very, very long. And they're just really hard to time with a traditional damage proc. So he's not very damage proc friendly. So I wanted to try him out with the CTP of Judgment. I'm probably going to be taking this CTP of Judgment off of him and putting on another character. Again, I don't remember when this video is going to be released, so you might already see this Judgment on another character. But for now, Iceman has it. Of course, no uniform yet for Iceman. Take a look at his details here. As you can see, we have max, or pretty much max attack speed. Our crit rate and crit damage are a little bit low. Ignore defense is close enough to max, and then skill cooldown is maxed. So that's what Iceman is looking like. So let's go ahead and hop into the fight against Galactus and see how he did. Alright, so here we are loading into the fight against Galactus. We have two random teammates here. Both of them are using 2 tier 3s, so I'm not sure how much help they're going to be. The team that I'm using here for Iceman is going to be Misty Knight lead, and then we have Coulson for support. So yeah, for Iceman here, since we have a CTP of Judgment on him, we pretty much just spam the skills, but I did find that one particular skill rotation is better for keeping him alive than the others. So he has immunity or invincibility on his 5th skill, then he has immunity on his 3rd skill. So what I try to do is stagger out those 2 skills. So I do 5, 4, and then I do usually 2 and 1 in between there. One has the iframe, so I do 2, then 1, and then as soon as 1 is done, I use the other skill, so that would be 3. And then after that, well, after I've used 3, I kind of let 3 play through, and then I do 2, and then I do 1. Or sometimes I do 1, I guess it depends on the cooldown, and then I go back into 5-4 because 1 has a short cooldown, so usually I can use skill 1 to kind of end both skill rotations, or both kind of skills that have my immunity on it. So when the immunity wears off from 5, I'm usually going into the 1st skill to get ready to use the 3rd skill. When the immunity from the 3rd skill is wearing off, I'm usually using the 1st skill to go into the 5th skill. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Just kind of listening back to myself here, and it's maybe like I'm confusing you more than helping you out with the skill rotation I like to use. Anyway, it's 5, you kill it that cancel after you see some of like the giant frost monster appear out of the ground, the ice monster there. And then you use 4 to kind of get the buff there, and then I do 2, 1, as you can see here from my rotation. 1 ends, I go into 3, and then I'm using 2, and then I'm using 1, and then I got 5, and then 4, and that's the rotation that I like to use for Iceman. I find that that's just the best rotation to keep him safe and alive, because I have tried just like spamming other kind of rotations where I'm basically just using skills as they come off of cooldown. But if I use 5 and 3 too close together and I don't have that immunity up, he just dies really quickly. So I found in World Boss Ultimate I was dying a lot of the times if I didn't use this skill rotation to keep that immunity up. He just couldn't take any hits. He was really, really squishy. So yeah, he doesn't have much survivability. But as you can see here, his damage is pretty nice. In War Boss Ultimate, his damage was nice as well with the Judgment on. And it's just a little hard to use him with a standard damage proc, so that's why I decided to go with Judgment on him. Mainly because of 1, his cooldown times are really high, and 2, he doesn't really have a good skill to like proc on. Probably the best skill to proc on might actually be like the first skill, because it's a longer animation. So you can get your 5th skill, or you could get the 3rd skill, kind of like that ball of ice that has like the spikes on it. Have both of those kind of doing residual damage. Will you go into the first skill and then have your damage proc activate that way, so you'll get the residual damage and then have a longer animation to take advantage of it. Because his 5th skill, I think you go out of the animation pretty quickly. Like, even if you don't skill cancel it, I think that you get out of the animation pretty quickly when he summons like the ice giant. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the 5th skill would be the better one to proc on. But basically, you want to look for a skill with a longer animation to take advantage of all his cancelable skills, because you get all those residual effects. So that's why I found that I like the Judgment a little bit more on him, because I was trying him out with a regular damage proc at the very start when I first got Iceman. Or wait, or did I? I don't even remember now, because it's been so long since I've used Iceman. But anyway, he's pretty fun to use with a Judgment. So if you do have a CTP of Judgment and you did decide to buy Iceman, because of course he is a Crystal class character, so you would have had to invest in him in the first place, then he's actually a pretty good option for your CTP of Judgment. He takes good advantage of it, so that's one plus there. But at the same time, if you have a CTP of Judgment laying around and no Iceman, I wouldn't necessarily buy him just to use the Judgment on him, because there are other characters that are really strong with the CTP of Judgment, which most notably now is actually Enchantress. I'm having a lot of fun with a CTP of Judgment on. But anyway, this is about Iceman. As you can see, he's doing quite well here, because if I remember correctly, again, because I've recorded these clips in advance, I think I did like most of the damage here by like a good margin. So yeah, Iceman is putting in work here against Galactus. He's probably not going to do very well against Galactus with a regular damage proc though, so keep that in mind. You're probably going to want to have a CTP of Judgment if you want to see good results here against Galactus. Again, just because of how his skill rotation works and his skills themselves. But overall, I do like Iceman. He's pretty fun to play. I really like the animations that he has. He's, like I said, a good option if you have a Judgment here that you just need someone to put it on. He can do some pretty good stages of War Boss Ultimate for you. He'll be a nice clear for Galactus here. And then, of course, he'll do Master Mold very easily. So, yeah, overall, Iceman, fun character. So now let's go ahead and skip ahead towards the end of the fight here and see how much damage we actually did with Iceman. Alright, so now we're a little bit closer to the end of the fight here. We've got just 8 bars, about to be 7 bars left. We only have 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock, so it did take most of the time to do this, but again, I'm pretty sure that most of that damage was from Iceman, so this is going to be him doing a majority of the clear here. Because yeah, we've only got that Hulk left alive. I don't remember when the other guy actually died, but we just have the Hulk here help us out a little bit, showing off his survivability, because he's just sitting up there spamming skills and not even worrying. Is he going to survive this? Oh, he switched, okay. I was going to say, is Hulk actually going to survive the laser eye beam blast here from Galactus? Because not many characters can. Just because it does such high burst damage, so they can't really out-heal it. Alright, we're coming down to the end here. He's trying to stall out, but he's doing the randomized attack, so I'm just going to ignore it and have to switch, because I was almost going to die. But anyway, we got through here. Alright. Oh no, I only did 57% of damage. I thought I did more than that. But anyway, that was 40 million damage in 9 minutes, so Iceman is still a really good option here. He did more than a third of the damage, and he did more than half the damage as well. So he can do more than 50% of Galactus's total health in the time period, which is good. So Iceman is a viable option, but provided you have like a CTP of Judgment or a CTP of Rage to put on him, because if you're going with a standard damage proc, you might have to really invest pretty heavily in Iceman to get this kind of results here. So you're probably gonna have to put some Uru on him, a fully awakened Isolate set, and then the Obelisk would have to probably be a double cold damage with damage proc or something like that to really get kind of close to this showing right here. But anyway, that's just a quick fight here with Iceman against Galactus. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.